Would you like to learn the difference between coaching and mentoring? If the answer is yes, I have very good news for you. I'm going to cite the difference between these two terms from the book called A Critical Introduction to Coaching and Mentoring. The very first page of this, the author beautifully describes about coaching and mentoring. Mentoring is something where the mentor tries to give technical reason and technically tries to improve the performance and so on. Whereas a coach is different. Coach is tapping that potential by just asking the question, powerful question, right? So that's the key difference. Although there are other differences, but what I would like to do today is that I'm going to cover the wonderful differences from the different field, how coaching and mentoring can have a different role to play, right? So it is given in the book, in the page number 41, psychology as a perspective to inform our work. And there are three columns being mentioned. One is called antecedents, another one is called mediating concept, another one is practical application. Take an example of, there are 5 examples being given. One is sports, and the second one is development psychology. The third one is psychotherapy. The fourth one is sociology. Last one is the philosophy, right? So let's talk about the sports one. And in sports, so what is a mediating concept is that you have to have a goal, measurement, competitiveness and performance, right? And the practical application is the GROW model, and I will talk about what is meant by GROW model, and mental rehearsals, having a visioning and goal focus, the inner game and all that, right? So this is what the coach tries to do. That, for example, let's say a batsman is not doing very well, and maybe it could be various reason. What coach tries to do is, okay, you were very good at this zone, why don't you just apply that, right? So just tapping the potential of a person or anything in the sports paradigm. So that is something called from the sports. Let's talk about the development psychology number 2, like education theory and conversation learning theory, motivation, sense making, theories of knowledge, mindset, role of language, narrative theory, and so on. It goes on and on, right? So when it comes to practical application, level of dialogue, holistic learning, and knowledge productivity, and there is something called Johari window. We'll talk about that also as well in the future videos. And let's talk about the psychotherapy. In psychotherapy, the emotional disturbance and stress and well-being, and blind spots and resistance to change. Blind spots is a wonderful topic. Sometimes we think that we are doing extremely good, but we may have our own blind spot. That we'll talk about that. And transference and generativity and narrative theory and so on, right? So let's talk about another perspective, 7-eyed model of supervision, wonderful model. And there is something called devil's advocacy, right? Asking the questions and wearing the black hat and asking more and more questions, try to get the answers, making sure that we have all the actions for all the issues, everything, right? Whatever the risk we have, right? The dream, the inner game, and Johari window is also a new concept which I will be covering in future videos. Let's talk about the next one. And then you have something called sociology, right? Organization theory, leadership, change management, dominant discourse, strategy, mindset, and so on. And then there is something called, in that practical application, there is something called 360 feedback, there is something called SWOT analysis, PEST, I have already covered in the past, performance management, and so on and so forth, right? And then the last one is that philosophy, right? Power, morality, mindset, and notion of experts, and so on. And this is something like evidence-based coaching, existent coaching, and ethical framework and standard, and so on and so forth, right? So what I would like to talk about is that sometime when you give any trainings and all that, you also have to gauge your audience. And if something that the person is very potential and the person is very subject expert and all that, your mentoring may not be very effective, but you can play a role of something called coach, right? Where you can ask a powerful question and try to get the answer from it, and then you can guide accordingly. That's the key difference between coaching and mentoring. Please comment what you want to be, mentor or coacher. Please do like, share, subscribe my channel. You have a wonderful day ahead.